Goku and Raditz plan to desert the Frieza Force, but it's not going to be easy, and they're also going to have to surpass the Saiyans first. So, where do they go from here? We'll be covering all that and more in this fourth part of What If Goku Joined Raditz. Goku and Raditz begin training together more and more. The two also lightly exploit Zenkais because, since they can injure each other, that does help, but they're not purposefully doing that just to cheat it, although it's a nice side effect of actually having a training partner. Not to mention, on their missions, Goku still has to get by not killing, and Raditz does cover for him more and more. It's not that Goku has a problem with killing necessarily, it's just the people that they're actually fighting. A lot of them don't even deserve it, but Goku's able to get by, although Nappa is still really annoyed by him and still gives him a hard time, and at some point he's fed up. He catches Raditz covering for him too, and Nappa gets ready to fight Goku, but Goku's not too stressed about it. Also, Vegeta doesn't intervene. Frieza did warn them to stop fighting, but he doesn't care. They could easily make it look like Kakarot just died on a mission, and he lets Nappa go at it. And you know what? If Kakarot actually makes it out of this fight, they'll stop giving him these responsibilities. Really now? Okay. Goku then powers up. He's actually been hiding a lot of his power this time, and he begins fighting Nappa. Nappa's a little taken aback because Kakarot's actually able to keep up with him, and not just that, he's just a much more skillful fighter in general. The gap in power isn't massive, and of course Goku doesn't have Kaioken here to rely on either, but by this point, he actually does surpass Nappa a little bit, and he ends up beating him in the battle. Vegeta finishes the rest of the job himself, a little disappointed in Nappa. That must have been a fluke because there's no way Kakarot's actually grown stronger than him. He's not really sure whether to be impressed with Kakarot or think lesser of Nappa. And what does that mean for Raditz too? Has he grown stronger as well? Following this, Goku and Raditz immediately leave the base. Now they know they're at least stronger than Nappa, and they're gonna definitely have to fight him again because Goku didn't just kill him outright. But still, they could leave for Earth, grow stronger, and then by the time the Saiyans find them, they'll be able to win. Not to mention, they'll be fighting on Goku's turf, so he's pretty confident about it, and they'll have his allies to help. Raditz still thinks this is crazy, but he goes along with it. He feels alive. This is a lot of fun. So, covertly, they leave. What's Frieza up to? He wonders what the Saiyans' next move will be because, of course, he instilled discourse between them. He wants them to actually fight each other. He doesn't know how they're going to go about it, but he just hopes it happens in general. It seems like they're going to have a falling out soon enough, just like he wanted. They'll kill each other off, and he won't have to worry about them anymore, or get his hands dirty in the process. Of course, he could always just kill them himself, but it's more fun to mess with them like this. He doesn't care whether they live or die. Just as long as it doesn't affect his bottom line, that's all that matters. Some time passes. Krillin and Tien are training at Kame House one day. Tien started to go here more and more to train because, well, without Goku here, the strongest person he could train with is Krillin, and they've become rivals to each other. But then both of them senses some strong powers approaching. There's two of them, and one of them feels like Goku's, but there's no way he's back here. And then they realize who the other power is. It feels like Raditz. They're immediately on guard, but over the horizon, they see Goku and Raditz flying across the water, landing at Kame House. Roshi steps outside and can't believe his eyes, because first of all, Goku's finally here, but at the same time, Raditz is here too. And Goku looks a lot different. Granted, it has been 5 years, but last time they saw him, he still looked like a kid. Now he's fully grown. Also, he's wearing the Saiyan's armor. And the first thing Goku does is ask Roshi for a change of clothes. And Raditz waits awkwardly outside as Goku changes back into his gi. He didn't have another one out in space. That got destroyed pretty quickly. Tien and Krillin have been on guard the whole time, thinking that this is some sort of game from Raditz, but Goku was actually the one to bring him here. And he lets them know, right now, he's actually a little bit stronger than Raditz, and Raditz tells him to shut up. And at first they didn't even think it was possible, but they're starting to see that Goku might have actually brought Raditz on his side somehow, which is kind of insane considering what happened the last time they met Raditz. Goku says they need to get everyone back together. He wants to explain what happened out in space and what's going to happen next because there might be a threat coming to Earth soon, but he tells them not to worry. He and Raditz have got it under control, but he would like their help. So they all go to Capsule Corp instead. Everyone else is there. Bulma, Yamcha, Chaozu, even Kami shows up and someone Goku doesn't recognize. But then Goku remembers who it is. Along the way to Capsule Corp, Krillin updated Goku on everything that's happened here so far. The fact that Piccolo Jr. was a thing and he was defeated. But also, Goku's apparently engaged right now. The person waiting for him is Chi-Chi. After hearing what happened to him, she stuck around the group to wait for him, especially because she wants to beat up Raditz for what he did to him. But seeing him in person, yeah, she's not going to fight him. Although she's glad to finally have Goku back and Goku accepts her proposal. Pretty casually to the surprise of everyone else. Anyways, he begins to explain what happened out in space. They learn about Vegeta, Nappa, Frieza, and pretty much everything else out there. As far as Goku knows, there are a couple people stronger than Vegeta and Nappa too, but right now they only need to worry about those two. He's heard about the Ginyu Force, and Raditz mentions it too, but they're probably not going to come here. Although, they never know. Frieza, on the other hand, might be a threat down the line. Definitely not an immediate threat, but in the future he could be one. So right now they have to get ready for Vegeta and Nappa. Raditz says it shouldn't take them too long to get here. When he and Kakarot slipped away, Vegeta and Nappa were about to head on another mission. He expects they have a month or two to get ready. From the base they were on, it didn't take too long to travel to Earth, so he expects Vegeta and Nappa will complete that mission and then come here. Thankfully, it's not like everyone's been sitting around doing nothing. They've been training too, so they don't need to be caught up to speed. Sure, they're not on Goku or Raditz's level, but still, at the very least they vow to help. Goku and Raditz kind of want to take this alone, but they'll be on standby. Goku really can't overstate how strong Vegeta and Nappa are. He only just barely beat Nappa. So Goku tells his friends if they don't think they could beat him right now, unfortunately they probably won't be able to defeat the Saiyans either. But they could probably help in other ways. So they spend some time preparing. And about a month later, Vegeta and Nappa arrive. It's a bit sooner than Raditz expected, but they're still prepared. Not to mention, Bulma helped out by building a gravity chamber. This was a suggestion from Raditz. Planet Vegeta had 10 times the gravity of Earth after all, so this planet isn't really beneficial right now. And they've been on other planets with higher gravity. So they feel very lightweight on Earth. Even Goku does too, because he's had experience on other planets now. And Raditz says they should at least be working with 10 times that gravity. To think Goku was born on a planet with 10 times the gravity of Earth. Well, he probably could really benefit from that then. And he did. They grew decently stronger in the meantime. So the 4 Saiyans meet. 2v2. Vegeta would love to take both of them on at once, but Nappa says he wants another shot at Goku. Maybe they could just do a 1v1 first. Although Raditz steps up. No, it's his turn to fight Nappa now. And Nappa laughs it off. Kakarot might have gotten lucky last time, but there's no way Raditz is going to get that lucky, especially being the weaker one right now. Judging by his power level, he's not as strong as either of them. And Raditz asks if he really wants to rely on the scouters still because the last time he did that, Kakarot was able to hide his power and surprise Nappa, and Nappa says he doesn't need it, throwing it away and getting ready to fight Raditz. The two begin clashing. Right now, Raditz actually is the stronger one, and he makes the fight pretty quick. He really wants to get on to fighting Vegeta. As much as he's waited to beat up Nappa as well, still, that's the bigger focus here. So he finishes the fight with Nappa, and it was a bit of a challenge for him. Right now, his power's a little over 9,000. Sorry. And now Nappa's dead, which kinda does surprise Vegeta, but whatever. So it turns out Nappa was just weak. He has no use for him then, but he's still gonna kill these two. And it took a while for them to decide because originally they did want to fight alone. It's in their nature to fight 1v1. But they've come to the conclusion that it might be better to fight 2v1 here. Individually, neither of them overpowers Vegeta, and again, Goku doesn't have Kaioken here, so his power is just his actual power. Frieza's their target down the line anyways, and they need to get past this obstacle now in whatever way they can. Plus, Goku's rivalry is with Raditz right now. It doesn't matter if he beats Vegeta alone or not. He still has Raditz to compete with. Briefly, Goku does try to fight Vegeta alone, but then Raditz jumps in. And with their combined power, they do actually match Vegeta and slightly overpower him, but that's collectively. Individually, of course, Raditz is half Vegeta's strength, and Goku's around 10,000 right now, so a little bit more than half. And Vegeta decides to even the playing field a bit. How about making this fight more interesting? He throws up an artificial moon. He knows it's going to make them transform too, but it would be fun to fight as great apes. And Vegeta's strategy is pretty straightforward here. If they're fighting 2v1, he's just going to take out the stronger one first, so he focuses a lot of his efforts on Goku. Even with the brothers overpowering him together, when he focuses on attacking Goku individually, it's not like he could really do much. Especially now as great apes, the attacks are a lot more hard-hitting. And he's really surprised to see them working together like this. Raditz hated Kakarot just as much before. What has changed? Well, Raditz realized that he could have a much better life free from the Saiyans and free from Frieza. If Vegeta still wants to be Frieza's pawn, that's fine. But for Raditz, he's a pawn not just to Frieza, but to Vegeta as well. He's standing up for himself. He can't take that disrespect anymore. Who cares if he's a low-class warrior? He's already killed Nappa, and he'll send Vegeta to meet him as well. He'll prove his superiority. And Vegeta just laughs at this. Sure, he's superior. They were both born to be runts. That's why Kakarot was sent to this planet in the first place. And look around. There's no one else even here to fight him. No one's strong enough to face him. That's why Kakarot grew up so weak. But at least Kakarot had an excuse. For Raditz, he didn't grow up surrounded by weaklings. He grew up surrounded by other strong warriors. And he's only grown strong recently. And Raditz says that says more about Vegeta and Nappa than it does about Kakarot. Over 2 decades with them, and it got him nowhere. Meanwhile, a few years with his low-class brother, that made him grow exponentially. He's way stronger than he ever could have been. And together they could prove that low-class warriors could be whatever they want to be. They're not destined to be weak. And their hard work can overcome Vegeta's elite genes. Vegeta still doesn't believe it, continuing to attack both of them, while also taking a lot of damage himself. But as he's fighting them, somebody then flies in front of Vegeta's face. He doesn't know who it is, but Goku and Raditz see it's Tien, so they turn away. He performs a solar flare and then quickly flies off. Vegeta aimlessly swings around trying to hit whoever's in front of him, but there's no one there. Tien's gone. And then, he feels a sharp pain behind him. A Kienzan cuts clean through his tail. Krillin's there as well. They knew they couldn't fight directly, but they still wanted to help out Goku and Raditz whatever way they could. To think they're working with Raditz now, but it's an enemy of my enemy situation. Goku actually requested that they don't intervene right away, but once things got bad, they were free to do whatever they wanted to help. They assumed that was their cue, and they back off for now. Thankfully, Vegeta can't sense Ki, so they go completely unnoticed now. Not that it even matters because Vegeta begins to de-transform, while Goku and Raditz still remain as great apes. Raditz then smirks, lifting a foot up and stomping on Vegeta, leaving a foot-shaped crater with Vegeta in the middle, not moving. Goku then points a hand at the artificial moon, launching a small blast that destroys it. He and Raditz shrink back down to normal size. That's the end of Vegeta. Goku's taken a lot more damage than Raditz, but he'll be fine, especially because he could just get a Senzu Bean or something. Goku didn't really want to kill Vegeta right away, but he gets why Raditz wanted to, and he kind of expected that. And Raditz is really happy. They finally beat Vegeta. But still, he needs to get stronger. Both of them do. they still had to work together to defeat him, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but imagine if they were strong enough to defeat him individually. But Goku says it's not a problem. They'll grow even stronger, and Frieza won't be a problem for them. He holds his fist up with Raditz fist bumping it. But then Goku's smirk turns into a really shocked expression. Raditz looks down. There's a hole in Kakarot's chest. He falls to the ground, lifeless. Krillin and Tien just came out of hiding too, stunned because they see Vegeta standing up, just having launched a blast to kill Goku. Vegeta's barely moving, and he laughs. Looks like weakening Kakarot was a good idea. He could barely move right now, but he might still have enough power to defeat Raditz as well as whoever cut off his tail. Raditz looks down at his brother, and he really is dead. He's not moving. He can't sense any of his ki. Tien and Krillin assume a battle stance with Vegeta getting closer and closer to them, but then they hear Raditz scream. He actually felt a bond with Kakarot. He saved him from the Frieza Force and gave him hope. They shared being low-class Saiyans, but more importantly, being brothers. He didn't think as a Saiyan that he'd ever have a connection with a family member like that, but he can't deny how he feels about it, especially seeing his own brother killed in front of him. His ki flares up dramatically, and there's a brilliant flash of light. It's not like what Vegeta saw before when he got blinded, but this time it's actually Raditz himself glowing. Raditz stands there with a determined look on his face. His hair is now golden, and his eyes have changed too. Vegeta doubts what he's seeing at first, but there is no doubting it. He doesn't even have time to process the fact that Raditz became a Super Saiyan because Raditz immediately makes quick work of him, rushing over to Vegeta, grabbing him by the head, and throwing him far up into the sky. Vegeta's already badly injured as is, so this is going to be complete overkill. Vegeta's flying up so fast that he's about to leave the atmosphere, but Raditz gets up there quicker to stop him, elbowing him in the head, stunning Vegeta and leaving him completely dazed. And Raditz holds both hands out in front of him, charging a point-blank blast. He'll make sure to completely eradicate Vegeta this time. Krillin and Tien watch from the ground below as a brilliant beam of purple light darts across the sky. Vegeta's ki is completely gone, and Raditz descends to the ground below, feeling a mix of anger, sadness, but also pride. He defeated Vegeta, but also, he became the first Super Saiyan, and Kakarot was the entire reason. But still, the fact that he lost Kakarot in general, he thinks it's permanent. He can't accept the fact that he's already gone. And Krillin and Tien, of course, are worried, but they tell Raditz he won't have to wait long. What are they talking about? Oh yeah, they never told Raditz about the Dragon Balls. He hears about them for the first time. Goku has never actually died before, so they could use the Dragon Balls to bring him back. They actually already have them gathered. They were going to use them to teleport Goku back to Earth when he was ready, but that never happened, so they've held on to them this entire time. So even though momentarily they were worried about Goku dying, they realized it wasn't really going to last long. Because Vegeta's gone, the Dragon Balls are already safely guarded, and Goku can be revived by that wish. Well, that's really news to Raditz. And with that, we'll leave out here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.